So you have received the materials, 3 chapters today. So I think we might not be able to have the time to do 3, but one of them will be very short. Right. So our objective today is to continue to look into the Shensha, and we will cover chapter 27, 28, and 29. And after this chapter, then we have only 232 left, yeah, as it is. Right. So on our journey to complete on the volume 1, we essentially look into some of these so-called querent. So we are basically on a way on the querent. So basically means helpful people. So we can call it noblemen, or uh, we can call them helpful people. And these are all literature. All this literature maybe what we can call pre-10 gods, the pre-10 gods. And therefore, prior to the 10 gods, these are the stars that they use. And so, in a way, they are aligned with some of them, not all, they are aligned with the 10 gods school of thought or literature. Some of them have certain similarity, and of course, we try to align them as much as we can. Now, the first chapter today, we will look at a very quick one, just a very, very quick one, which is chapter 28 on the three origins. On the three origins, as we come to chapter number 28, a very short and simple one. It refers, these three refers to the heavenly stem, the earthly branches, and the hidden stem. So when we talk about three, we mean the 3 layers, which of course all of you should already know by now what are the 3 layers. So the elements that appear on the stems are known as the heaven. Essentially means that it's visible to the public. So things that appears are protruded. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you, Kim Tae. Things that are protruded, they are public. They are public. Then of course we have what we call the branch. And here within the branch will then be called the hidden stems. So the hidden stems represents the chi or the elements to which it is not known, not visible to the public. And of course, as we know, in many of the branches, there are more than one. They're not pure. The peach blossoms, most of them are pure, but apart from that, they have two, many of them have three so-called sub-elements. So this chapter deals with what we consider to be the hidden stems. So this chapter pertains to the hidden stems, where each earthly branch will have either 1 to 2 or 3. And so here this would be the poem, so to speak, the poem that people in the past would try to sing in their head, basically to remember. That means it is more or less converted into a song so that people of the past, without the assistance of proper records or computer, can remember or memorize. All right, so essentially, uh, I think by now this will be quite fundamental, where of course the rat will have the kui water, the ox, which is the chow, will have it's a graveyard. Once it's graveyard, it has 3, which is of course the kui water, sin metal, and G earth. And now here, what we want to move on in the significance of the hidden stems, which of course in the first part we will recognize them as either they represents graveyard, represents growth, and a peak, which is, and also of course represents officer. And officer here would be the peak, which is mostly the peach blossom. Right. So essentially, the first element of the season will then be known as the officer. Then, of course, the growth then be peak before we then come into the graveyard, as it is. All right. So in a way, the more pertinent part of this is the dominance, for the dominance. So indicating that if we look into any chart, we would like to consider what will be the dominant chi. So this chapter pertains to what would be the dominant chi. What would be the dominant chi? Let's say here, for example, has said today. Today being the 27th of October. Being the 27th of October, what would be the month? What month are we at? What would be the month for October? Yeah. The month of October naturally would be the month of the dog. So it will be the month of the dog. So if it's the month of the dog, we have the month of the dog. But today being the 27th of October, we wanted to question as into when is the first day. The first day for the month of the dog for this year will be on the 8th. So on the 8th of October, that would be day one. That would be the first day for it. So the first day, according to this chapter, in the month of the dog, sin metal is used for 7 days. Therefore, here for 8 until 15th of October, until the 7th day, then we would consider that the sin metal is the dominant so-called element. The sin metal is element. Sin metal, of course, would be the officer element or the main element for the season of autumn. So the dog is autumn, and so we'll consider that the sin metal element. And then, of course, the uh, Ting fire would then be used for 5 days. Then Ting fire would then be used for 5 days. So that will bring us from 16th to 20th of October, which will then be up to 5. Then that would be the 12th day. For 5 days will be the Ting fire. And then, of course, to the end would then be the Wu Earth. Would then be the Wu Earth, which is the graveyard. The graveyard, or basically the Wu Earth, would then be the main element. All right. So anyway, this chapter is just about identifying which would be the more dominant element uh, to be used. This where sometimes, of course, if you just go straight, especially usually for identifying the main chi, the most precarious month would be the graveyard months. Because the graveyard months, we want to see whether that would be the dominant. So if let's say we have a Run Water Day Master, so a Run Water Day Master born today, 27th of October, we'll then consider that Earth will represent the main element. So therefore, 7 killing. So the person will have a 7 killing structure. If the person is born earlier, therefore it will be the Ting fire, which will then be your direct wealth, the direct wealth structure. And of course, earlier would then be the direct resource, the direct resource structure. Right. So in that case, this chapter pertains to identifying the dominant chi for the day, Right. So anyway, this will be a bit more specific to it, to consider how do we measure the main chi if there are more than one hidden. So we find that if it is just peach blossom, then not to worry so much. Not to worry so much. But if you do consider, let's say, for example, pure peach blossom like the red, we may still consider that the Ren water is used for 7 days, before the Kueh water would then be used for 23 days. Therefore, there's still that transition along the line. So this is more for those who may need to delve deeper into identifying the main chi for each of these branch. All right, but more often than not, this would present some alternate insight or deeper insight into uh, which would represent the stronger element within that particular particular branch, especially when you look for things like clashes, combinations, and so on, or even elements that permit combinations and transformation. Right, so, well, anyway, you have all your 12 branches. So if you can just look at it, I think it's quite self-explanatory. If you can identify the branch and then identify which would be the days that comes along. Got it? Okay, so that wraps up on a very quick wrap up. Of course, we can spend a lot more time here, but I think the main gist of this chapter is just about that. Yeah, as it is. Yeah, any questions? Any clear into a bit more about some deeper analysis into the main chi, the main chi for the day, the main chi for the day when we look into the branches. All right, now without once we're done, now let's move on to chapter 27. In chapter 27, we now come to sorry, Corinne, you have a question? I think your message got cut off. No? All right. Is it for the month? Or it's yeah, essentially it's the main chi is for the month, correct? The main chi is for the month. Means how we refer to the month. Lat Prela or let's say for example, if I refer to today, that means I'm referring to the main chi for today. So what is the main chi for today? Also in a way, when you want to consider the structure, when you want to consider the structure. So as I mentioned earlier, if we are referring to a Ren Water Day Master, and today we are on a month of the dog, which of course we then have your Ting Fire, we also have your Sin Metal, but we also have your Wu Earth. So therefore there are three. So the question now is, today being 27th of October, how do we read the structure of this? How do we read the structure for this day master? We will read the structure to be 7 killing. The person is, this is a 7 killing structure. 7 killing structure. Okay? 7 killing structure. Not really looking at it from the other two structures. Okay, so because it is about the day of the month, it's the day of the month which represents a season, so it's primarily on this particular focus that we have. Right then, now as we move on to chapter 27. Okay, so chapter 27, I would consider that we can have a shortcut way, because at the end of the day, there will be so many of these rules, and it's quite difficult for somebody to remember at heart, or quickly just the snap of a finger immediately identify them. So to identify these so-called fortunate stars, first of all, of course, we consider that for fortunate stars, we refer to the day master. We refer to the day master. And the fortunate star or the lucky star will appear to be at the hour branch. So we are referring to the hour branch. So here, as we can see, if it is a Jia wood day master, then tiger hour, the tiger hour. If it is the It would day master, then it will be the ox. So one by one. So the Ren water day master will then have dragon, the dragon. And the Keng will then have the horse. Now for many of them, if you look at it, for many, not precisely all of it, there's a tendency to it to be either EG or resource. So the tendency for it is to be the EG. For example, Koi water. Koi water produces. Koi water produces wood. Wood. Therefore, in a rabbit, you will find yi would. And if you observe, of course, it will always be yin for yin, yang for yang. So if jia would is a yang, then it would be a yang branch. And yi would then be a yin branch. Ping, so yin for yin, yang for yang. So as we know, if that's the case, then for the day master, the one that is of the same element, the one that is of the same polarity. So the one with the same polarity for your output star will be your eating god, will be your eating god. Therefore, there will be your eating god. So in a way, the shortcut for this reading, not necessarily all the way correct. We are not going to refer correct. For example, pink fire, and this is red hour is not. It's not EG. Essentially, that would be your officer. So it doesn't apply that all of them are EG or resource. So bear in mind. But normally later when we come to reconcile with the 10 gods series, we are looking primarily for EG, for the eating god, or essentially one of the positive stars, one of those auspicious stars like resource or EG. Essentially, the hour pillar represents your old age. It represents your retirement stage. It represents your children, your children pillar. And so for female day masters, output represents your children. And so having children in your children pillar would then be the right place, the proper place for the children branch to appear. And of course, having positive stars at your old age, like eating god and resource, indicate that the person is likely to have resources, likely to be well off at your old age. So in that case, this would be considered to be your golden years. It represents your so-called golden years. And so in the golden years, you retire with comfortable resource is comfort. So therefore, you're comfortable, you have food to eat, and you have children to take care of you. You can see children and so on. So therefore, that represents the this particular chapter. So this chapter will consider that if this is a day master, then you match against your hour branch. Hour branch. Right. Now, because it represents comfort, old age, golden years, and of course, in many more occasions, we don't, and it's hidden, because it's hidden. So, not too many cases that we can discuss in this chapter. Not too many we can find. As it is. All right. So bear in mind that that of course we may have a misconception because of it. Just to correct that, it represents your day master and your hour, the hour pillar, the time pillar or the hour pillar. So again, what does it represent when you have this? When you see it, of course, life of abundance, longevity, blessings, comfortable life, stable and good fortune in life. Essentially, at your old age, at your old age, at your retirement. But again, it just means that, it just means that. So when we read, we do not consider that it represents any prosperity or elevations to a high level. So in that case, again, so that's why for this chapter, we don't have too many charts to bring up in order to show in a real case, because this is not something that is visible to the public. These are not celebrities, neither are they in people of high position. So it just means for those ordinary. All right. So in a case, but of course, here we do consider that eating God is unfavorable. Poverty may still occur if in the presence of. Sorry, I think I missed out. I think negative stars. Negative. So again, if your eating God is being clashed, if your eating God is being combined away, then again the reading would then be the opposite. So things would have to be careful. Things will have to be carefully looked at as well. All right. Maybe just a little bit more about what we discussed. Now it's fine. You can just continue. So therefore, that will be just as we look at it. So we take a look into a sample chart. So in this sample chart, what do we have? So number one, we refer to the Wu Earth Day Master. So as we look into the Wu Earth Day Master, what would be the fortunate star? So what would be the fortunate star for a Wu Earth Day Master? And so according to this chart, the Wu Earth Day Master, yes, that's right. Then you will find that the monkey. So for a Wu Earth Day Master, it would be of all the 12, of all the 12 animals, monkey would be very appropriate, very suitable. And so therefore you can find that the person has monkey, the person has monkey, and monkey, of course, would then be the eating god, right? Yes, the eating god element. All right. So in this case, we then deem that if the master is Wu Earth, born in a horseman, so therefore we can consider that it would be a resource. So resource is in control. What else can we see? We can also see that there is a horse and a dog. So there is a partial fire combination. And then this chart also, as we read along, it says that there is an eating god controlling seven killing. So therefore, auspicious. Eating god controlling seven killing is auspicious, especially when the seven killing is being controlled. Therefore, this represents how we can read some of the chart. And so it says here that the time pillar or the hour pillar, which is the Keng, is the eating god. And that brings the refined energy to the entire chart. So eating god is generally auspicious. And we find that there are two eating god here. So meaning to say that we have fire that refines the eating god. So the eating god is refined. Shen Zi Shen, yes, water. So therefore, we have the water combination. Excellent. So therefore, here and here would be water. Water combination. Fantastic. Okay, but what we see is that when you see Keng metal, when you see Keng metal must be forged in the baptism of fire. Therefore, Keng metal needs Ting. Wow, fantastic. Then Pui Kong, correct. Okay, therefore, there must be presence of Ting fire to refine the eating god. And the eating god controls the 7K. Therefore, indicating that this pillar is useful. All right, so that's one way to consider. Keng metal eating god becomes very crucial. All right, Pui Kong start. All right, now as you look into the other chart, let's come to this. Here now we have, what do we? Here we have Kueh water. We have Kueh water. And when you look into Kueh water, then what would be? So if we look into Kueh water, then what would be the okay, fantastic. So when you look into the Kueh water, then this represents so Kueh water, then this represents your rabbit. So the rabbit represents your fortune stars here. And then when you look into rabbit, it represents that you do have your eating god. But this chart also remind you that the day master is also rooted in the eating god here, which is an EG here, which is EG here, which is EG here. So unlike the earlier chart, here the presence of EG is unyieldingly too strong. Unyieldingly too strong. And born in the season of spring, at the peak of spring, metal is dead. Metal is dead. So metal is not strong enough to cut the grass. Therefore, this chart we see a jungle. We see bushes of tall grasses all around with the yew wood surrounded. So surrounded by the kueh water, and the wood would weaken the kueh water. Therefore, this would be where yes, correct. Yi Mao is a Rockwell good blade. Fantastic. That is excellent. This is a Rockwell good blade pillar. This is a Rockwell good blade pillar. So, what kind of enemy should you use this person to attack? Because Rockwell good blade is like a kryptonite. Therefore, you need to know uh, who shall we match this person against to win? To win. Would they master, isn't it? Therefore, it's a Rockwell good blade to the Jia. Jia. Right? Just a Jia, kind of people. Okay, therefore that will be too strong. So therefore, the wood right is too strong, and the wood weakens. The wood weakens to the dema. So in this context, we will consider that. We will consider that the fortune star is now. The fortune star is now detrimental. The fortune star is now detrimental to and cause the imbalance. Cause the imbalance. This will be when you have excessive eating god. Excessive. So this person will usually become very impatient, can be quite vengeful, because these are the negative manifestation of eating god. So we see this to be negative, then that would be how we can read the chart. All right. So again, this chapter has most of the chapters in Shensha would then introduce you yet another table. And if you feel overwhelmed by too many tables, now we can just add one more table to what we have already discussed since last week. So last week we have tables. Now you want to add another table. You want to add another table. Now, and at least nowadays, uh, for those of you learning this today, you don't have to memorize songs and poems. You don't need to memorize all these lyrics. But yet still too many tables to remember becomes people become overwhelmed with the analysis, because at the end of the day we want to get more and more. So long story short, if you do not you do not want to push yourself to make an effort to memorize all these relationships, then just focus on the message. The message is EG in your hour. The EG in your hour branch. That would be the main checkpoint. So once we have gone through EG is favorable, auspicious, and seeing it in your hour branch would be good. So therefore, that would be the key takeaway. The key takeaway. All right. So there you go. So this will be your chapter 27. As it is. Right now to the last chapter for today, we now come into the 10 stems prosperity. The 10 stems prosperity, we call it Lu. So the word is Lu. And so it just means the 10 stems prosperity. Now the 10 stems prosperity, again, as we can map out against all the 12 branches, we will find that of course here the each stem will find itself being peak. So Lu represents the peak. So Lu represents the peak of the stem, ranging from its birth to it. I mean, if this is fire, what do we have? Fire is yin. Yin Wu Shi. Therefore, fire trinity, yin, wu, shi. Therefore, the tiger man, the tiger man is the birth of fire. The horse is the peak of fire, and the dog is the graveyard for fire. So therefore, fire comes to be stored and died at the. So this for you find so yin, shi. So in that case, for fire, then it would be the horse. So this is it. So once again, if you know your five elements and your trinity, your three combination, then as it is. Right? So that will be that. So this will be the 10 stems prosperity. So the 10 stems prosperity, the passage of Luke comes from Dipan. Okay, so here what will be the Luke? What will be the star for Jiawood? So for Jiawood, the element that is the birth of wood that comes from it, the same element. So usually we refer Luke to be the same element and has it is rooted. So it actually also means rooting. So Jia would then find that the Luke will be the tiger. Because what is inside the tiger? The Jia wood. The Jia wood is inside the tiger. Therefore, the Luke for your Jia wood would be the tiger. Therefore, this would be considered to be auspicious. Again, if we do not wish to burden ourselves with yet another table to memorize, in all simplicity, we find that whatever day master that you have, Luke represents routing. Luke represents routing. But it must be the main chi. It must be the main chi. Therefore, it must carry the same element as the day master. Whether here, or here, but not on the pillar, not on this pillar. Therefore, Luke can be here, or here. So we don't consider sitting on. We don't consider it to be sitting. Not so lah, because we some read it as that, but normally Luke will be outside your pillar because it's not your 60 pillar. It's one of those that is, but it means rooting. So at the end of the day, this chapter 28 means that there is rooting, that the day master is rooted. Once it's rooted, then we can then come and see what would be the meaning of this rooting. But of course, as I mentioned, all these are pre-10 gods. They came out, they came out before the 10 gods. But of course, later, the 10 God series will come to replace the concept of loop. But even though it replaced, it still have the same reading because it means that the day master is rooted. Once it is rooted, it strengthens the day master. And then here, if it is keng, if it is a keng metal, keng clashes with jia. Therefore, if it clashes with jia, then it has some mix. It has a mixed reaction because the heaven stamp clashes with it. Right, and of course, if it is one that supports it, then this would represents like Jia would be the same friend star. So friend star would be long life. Then of course we find a certain part where if it is earth, then it represents indirect wealth. Jia controls the wood, so it represents indirect wealth. And so this tiger becomes the traveling star, the yima, so horse. So when we see the word horse, it normally means travel, travel. So that means this part means the person will find fortune outside the village. So when they say outside the village means if the person travels, the person's money luck will be better. Therefore, this also in the old days, in the ancient days, then the recommendation is, migrate, migrate or travel overseas, because that's where you find your luck. You find your If you travel, you might find your luck in managing, because tiger is the traveling star, the yip that comes into it. All right, so you have here the jia, they must, and then of course for the yi, the same element will then be the rabbit. So it's very easy. No? There's no need to look into this table and strain your. No need to look at this table to strain yourself memorizing all these specific jargons unless you want to impress somebody. And sin metal clashes with the wood, therefore that's the broken loop, that comes into it. And so that's where we can see. So not all of them are auspicious. Not all of them are immediately positive. You may also see that it can bring something to be negative. Again, think so essentially, of course, wood produces fire, and therefore, as wood produces fire, fire exhausts the wood. So therefore, fire burns out the wood. So this would be considered to be inauspicious when it matches to your thing. And in a way, of course, this fire would then be an output to the daymaster. Right. So in a way, that would be more or less as we come to interpret. And here, this is a kue water kue also represents something that appears to be quite adverse as well. And every time you look in, one thing you may remember, if there's water and wood, water produces wood, and there's a betrayal. So there's also a betrayal sign that so normally the signature for water producing wood, and the wood betrays the water, comes into it. So there's a betrayal kind of element there. All right. So this will be some of the nuances that we have as it is. There's a rat in kueh. Yeah, that's right. There's a rat in the kueh. So you have that. You have the betrayal. Yeah, people, correct. Bingo. Bingo. Because if you have the rat and that's your betrayal, isn't it? So you have that betrayal side. Need to see. Okay, so anyway, this sign, if it's for male, for male, it may denote male impotence. Male impotence. We may denote male impotence because the rabbit is the picture of the rabbit is the picture of the male organ, and then sin metal, metal cutting the male organ is then considered to be for male impotence. Male impotence. If it's reading for male, then that would be as it is. All right, so this would be the loop for the E. Now we can go along. So of course, we then see the loop for the pink fire. So pink fire will be found in the snake, because hidden in the snake will then be the pink fire. So very simple. What is the loop? The loop is the main chi. It is a branch, and it will have the main chi of the same element. The same element as the day master. Same element as the day master. All right, we can take a look into how this loop will feature, and of course now in the thing, so the horse, and hidden beneath the horse would be then the thing fight. Would then be the thing. All right, we can go along, and then we also move on to here maybe complication maybe a bit more, because as we look into Wu Earth, now Wu Earth belongs to summer, Earth is actually central, not the four cardinal directions. So therefore, we still put Wu Earth in summer. So therefore, it sits where the snake. So within the snake. So this may require a bit more understanding because your snake is basically the Wu Earth is still in summer, on the summer season. And so for the Wu Earth, we will see it on the snake where there is a Wu Earth there. Okay, then of course we have your G Earth. So G Earth will then be on the horse. G Earth will then be on the horse, as it is, because horse again is on the peak of summer. So therefore, the G Earth would then be sitting. Then of course we have Keng metal. So without doubt, Keng will sit on the monkey. So therefore, the monkey represents the look for the Keng. And then of course we then look into Sin metal. Without doubt, Sin metal sits on the rooster. Rainwater will sit on the peak, not sit on us, sorry. We'll find that the peak represents the hidden rainwater, and therefore that would be the loop for rainwater. And then we have the rat. So inside the rat will then be the grey water, and therefore the rat will then be the loop for your grey water. All right. So therefore, one by one, we look into all these side. But again, always bear in mind that these are all single pillar. So therefore, one has to always look at the holistic nature. Okay, let's take a look into Donald Trump. If you look into Donald Trump's day master is G Earth. And what would be the loop for the G Earth? Hmm. Sorry, Ken, hold on. Earth prosperity, God same as fire. Uh, no, not so much the same, Ken. It's most the Earth is summer, Earth we put it under summer. Therefore, you will find that the branch will be something in the summer season, yeah. But yes, in a way, yes, so to speak. So G Earth, yes, the horse. So therefore, the horse represents the loop. So for G Earth Day Master, the horse represents the loop. And of course, that means friend star. That means friend star rooted. So that's what it actually means. So once again, these are all pre-10 gods. And so if you know your 10 gods very well, then all these tables already come naturally. That the day master is rooted. So if you see a friend star on the branch of the month or anywhere else, essentially that means there is a rooting. So here Donald Trump's chart is a bit special. Or what's so special about Donald Trump's chart? You will find that he has the southern direction. He has what does he have? He has the snake, he has the horse, and he has the goat. The horse and the goat. Therefore, there will be horse and goat, 6 combo. Horse and goat, 6 combo. Combined to form what? Horse and goat combined to form no, horse and goat combined to form fire. So the horse and the goat combined to form fire. And then he has the southern direction. He has all the 3 summer season. And then yin wu shi, yin wu shi will then be fire. And so something notable is definitely fire every so fire all the way, fire all the way. So resource, so excessive resource. This chart is very, very hot. This chart is very, very dry. Is there water? Can you find water in this chart? Can you find water in this chart? Is there a drop of water? None. Huh? No. Uh, and so once again, this and because what I mean by a little bit special here is water is no longer favorable. Huh? Water is not, there's no affinity for water. So this chart is hot, and that doesn't mean you recommend water to be the useful god or to be the remedy. You pour water into this chart, it will be very bad luck. So therefore, in a way, we can also see that he has Ren Yin, Ren Yin coming in, Ren Yin, so-called luck pillar, right? So therefore, that will be the case as it is. Okay, so coming back, we just okay, let's just go back to just look at the pillar. So the pillar will be Jia, Jia Wu. Therefore, it's direct officer. So therefore, this will be the direct officer. So having the loop pillar, which is the direct officer, therefore great opportunities to to gain official status. To gain official, that would be one part of the reading that we can also consider. Right. So, well, this will be the Donald Trump's chart that we can observe, and of course, many will be interested that the election within the next week or so will then determine whether this chart would stand a chance to win the next U.S. presidential election. So having a direct officer pillar look would then mean great opportunity to be elevated into official status that we have on the direct. No, Ken, I don't think it's not a too strong that it becomes weak. No, no, no. It's too strong. It's very close to vibrant, but it's not super vibrant, so therefore it's near. So it's not a vibrant chart, but it's a near vibrant chart. Near vibrant, like super vibrant, so therefore that's why this person can achieve great things. I mean, come on, to once become a president of the United States, this kind of chart should be a bit strong. It's not a very big chart, but I just mean to say vulnerable to water. Vulnerable to, right? Therefore, that may be. You know, would it be good for US? Interestingly, well, that would be quite a political opinion, wouldn't it be? Would it be good for the United States? Well, as usual, politics is always about uh, politics is always a trade-off of interest, isn't it? I would say that maybe as a person also it will be whether good for US or not, I'm not too sure, but good for world peace, I more or less be more inclined to agree. As it is. Let's take a look into Kamala Harris, shall we? Now, Kamala Harris will be a rainwater. So, what would be the loop of a rainwater? What would be the loop? Therefore, okay, therefore here we can see that the loop will be the peak. So therefore the peak will be the loop. So therefore the hour pillar. So the hour pillar represents the the loop, the fortune pillar for Kamala Harris. For Kamala Harris, and therefore that would be the pillar. And so this pillar would be one. Also, this pillar would be considered. If you refer to the chart above, it says here same horse village loop. Same horse village. Wow. First of all, there is a horse. which means travel, which means uh, she essentially uh, would migrate, or she would move away from her village, so to speak, in order to seek fortune. Same horse village. What does it mean? What does this mean? This will be the Sin Hai. Now, Sin Hai is also revolution. Very normally, people with Sin Hai pillar very loud. Their voice is very loud. They tend to speak loudly. That kind of personality tends to be usually featured. Okay, so in a way, with that part, once again, what the same horse village Lu represent, found a place where the talents energy align with the opportunities. Therefore, it'll be a very favorable position that one can also see as it is. But of course, if you can look at it, you can find that she's born in the year of the in the month of the. Therefore, there's a bit of a clash. And this year, of course, the year 2024 is which is essentially a full yin. It's a full yin year for therefore it's a full yin year for her. And it's a bit of a clash that comes into the mind as well. So quite a lot of dragon, quite a lot of dragon. So when you have a lot of dragon, now dragon and dragon, what kind of punishment is that? If you can recall, dragon and dragon would be self punishment. Dragon and dragon would be self. Dragon and dragon would be self punishment. And of course, yep, that's right. There's Pui, correct. There's a fire half combo that comes into it. Right. So in that case here, one can see that who has that better luck? Who has that uh, better luck? So in terms of the annual luck, we find the arrival of, yeah, I tend to agree as well. Yeah, correct. So looking to the two charts, we can see this looks like but there's a little bit of a negative star. The run water here is water is not going to be favorable. Not going to be too favorable for dollar because the chart is right. But anyway, that would be looking into how we can look into the chart. Okay, Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden is a Ting Fire Day Master. So, what would be the look for a Ting Fire Day Master? The horse. Therefore, the horse. So, again, Joe Biden, the current US president, is also a loop pillar, also has a loop pillar in a year, also direct officer. Therefore, again, direct officer sitting on friend star, which is the loop pillar, would then indicate uh, uh, indicate it provides it makes the day master prosperous, makes the day master prosperous, and also combine and dragon horse destruction. Yep, you see a dragon horse destruction, but we also see that rainwater fire combines with rainwater. So that's why this combination is known as combined virtue loop. It's called combined virtue loop because the Ting fire combines with the rainwater. And very nice to find that that metal. Now, sin metal loves rainwater. Therefore, that would be the case where the indirect wealth will also be beneficial. All the same as well. Okay. So inside hosting file, so is it supposed to be? Yeah, it is. It is a friend stuff. That's where direct officer sitting on friend. Okay. All Lu are friend. Lu is basically friend. Hmm? Lu is basically friend stuff. Friend stuff. That's it. So so this chapter just want to say one thing. If you have a friend star hidden, that's your loop. That has a main chi. Has a main chi. Therefore, that's your loop. So that's just simply as it is. So once again, no need for you to memorize the table. Just that the moment you see friend star being the moment you see friend star being the main chi, that's your loop. That is your loop already. So that's your loop. Which also means your fortune. Fortune. Okay. Alright. But of course, this year is the year of the Chak. And Chak Chun again, this will become the Fu Yin. So Fu Yin star means sadness, isn't it? Fu Yin means sadness, and normally sadness comes from disappointment, come from an event that you feel sad, you feel disappointed, and self-punishment, correct? Self-punishment. So dragon and dragon Fu Yin or self-punishment also means that, well, the sadness is actually your doing, your doing. That means if you don't succeed, then it will also be your doing. So interestingly, we do find that Joe Biden chart and Kamala Harris chart has very similar pillar. Both of them has Jia Chen. Both of them has Jia Chen. Both of them also have Sin Hai. Both of them also have Sin Hai chart. Maybe that's where affinity comes in, where Joe Biden may find some affinity with the chart of Kamala Harris as it is. But having affinity means having the same type of pillar. And of course, if both having Fu Yin, that might not both very well. Right, let's take a look into one last chart. And I don't have the hour for the Chinese premier. Here we have Xi Jinping. And being a Ting Day Master, Ting Fire Day Master, what would be the look? The look will be again your, and therefore this will be your Wu partner. So this is hurting officer, as a hurting officer sitting on friend, and hurting officer sitting on friend. These represents Wu actually represents your rock wealth good blade. Also represents a rock wealth good blade pillar. So those with this pillar has uh, has the kryptonite. They can go against the nemesis. They can go against their therefore this whoever who have this chart, where you have your rock wealth good blade in a way sitting on it, would then be a blade to the Wu to the Wu Earth Deva. And therefore, if this person has a chart that has the upper hand against Earth people, upper hand against Earth people. Oh, Diogo, sorry, you just came in. Oh, the daylight savings. You just move your daylight savings time, is it? Okay. Sorry, you just came in right enough for us to close for today. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, if let's say we match this particular chart where President Xi Jinping has a Rockwell globe blade against Earth people in general, Earth people in general. Therefore, if the president is Earth, if the president has Earth in their chart, therefore don't find itself both very well as well. So that's where we can consider. So looks like this consider of look means great fortune, which also it elevates the pillar, it elevates. So the pillar with the friend star comes into it. So we do find many of these pillars are also visible for successful entrepreneurs and celebrities. Well, more for entrepreneurs and also people in power that we can find. All right, so with this, we can conclude on. Sorry, Diogo, we are concluding. No, you just jumped in. So we are concluding. What time is it now for you? It's 1 hour later than before, isn't it? Now you're moving to your daylight savings. Oh, yeah, that's right. Last week it was 1 p.m. Okay, so Diogo, apologies that we have just to close up. Okay, so that wraps up on that wraps up on our three chapters for today. You can find them on the folder. So I'll see you next week as we continue on all the other. We'll finish up. Soon, huh? Or not so soon maybe, but okay, timely to finish up volume one. Huh? All right. Good night, everyone, or good afternoon, Diogo. Good morning, huh? For those in the States.